This country wasn't meant for this. Few were. But we have to open our country again. I just spoke with the commissioners, leaders of, I would say, virtually all of the sports leagues.
President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, is sick of the coronavirus pandemic. He wants sport back ASAP. And for better or worse, he got it thanks to Dana White and the UFC.
He wants sports back. He wants to do it in these phases. He thinks that sports needs to come back first, then figure out how to get people back to work, and then figure out how to get kids back in school. We came out and we were first, and he congratulated us on being first.
Were you surprised?
Yeah. Well, I thought it was, it was very nice of him, cool, but very typical of him. This guy's been awesome to me for 20 years.
It may be news to some, but the orange man behind the wheel of America has been in a tumultuous relationship with combat sport for a long time now. His Trump Plaza casinos have hosted a slew of major boxing bouts, as far back as Foreman and Holyfield's 1991 Classic for the heavyweight title. Almost 2 decades later, Trump was one of the brains behind the MMA disaster and Fedor Emelianenko publicity vehicle, Affliction. And right behind the two, when Dana White first started pushing the UFC onto the nation, it was Trump who gave them venues to do so.
Arenas around the world refused to host our events. Nobody took us seriously. Nobody, except Donald Trump. Donald was the first guy that recognized the potential that we saw in the UFC and encouraged us to build our business.
In fact, Dana and Donald are so chummy that Dana was invited to speak in support of Donald at the Republican National Convention prior to the Don's presidency. But in this time of crisis, when the POTUS needed to get his nation back on its feet, he looked to another longtime friend of his with even more experience than Dana in the squared circle.
Vince McMahon, president of the WWE.
That's right. Donald Trump turned to professional wrestling in a widely criticized move that was considered extremely unwise by most health experts. The WWE was deemed an essential service from almost day one of the lockdowns in the United States. The gamble paid off, and their live events have been running for weeks. But the WWE is not a real sport. It's scripted and controlled and consistent. The UFC, on the other hand, is definitely a real sport with far more competitors, increased variation, and more potential for disaster. But after hosting 3 successful events in just 7 days, Dana White is now all in on the UFC, helping not just the other major sports get back on their feet, but the entire nation. And we can be sure that Trump will be the one who takes credit for it all.
We can share what we learned here doing 3 events with other sports leagues who are reaching out to us and asking. Go ahead.
Well, I was about to ask that. How many sports leagues have?
Yeah, no, the sports leagues and states asking us. A lot can be learned by what we're doing here, not just for professional sports, but sending people back to work and lots of other things in life.
Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.